Let's move into the last game. Cowboys against the 49ers. Dak, I had some belief in you, man. I really did. I thought you were going to do it, and you did it. You really did it.
You are watching Unpopular Opinion.
What's up, everybody? This your boy AB, and you are now listening to another episode of the Unpopular Opinion Sports Podcast. I am your host, AB.
And it's your boy, Pal.
And we got another episode on the way for y'all, man. These NFL Week 5 matchups on the way. We got 3 of them for y'all. So we're going to be talking about the Bengals and the Cardinals. The Bengals took that game 34-20. Then we're going to talk about the Lions versus the Panthers. Unfortunately, another loss for Carolina, 42-24. Detroit dominated that game. And then we're going to talk about the Niners and the Cowboys, 42-10. So let's go ahead and get into it, fam. The first game we're going to talk about is the Bengals and the Cardinals. Like I said, Bengals got a pretty confident win there, 34-20. They needed this one. What did you think about this game?
This game, the Bengals stepped up big time. The Cardinals have been having a pretty good year, even though they're missing Kyler Murray, who is still recovering from his ACL injury from last year. But Josh Dobbs was under pressure the whole game. That front seven of the Bengals came to play. They came alive this game because their secondary, losing Jesse Bates to the Falcons in the offseason is a big blow to that secondary.
Yeah.
They had 8 QB hits and 3 sacks this game, 2.5 of which of those sacks came from Trey Hendrickson. Huge guy coming off that edge, great edge rusher. He has to get that kind of pressure in order to win games. Jermaine Pratt and Logan Wilson, their linebackers, also came and played a great game. Everybody played a great game. Josh Dobbs was under a lot of pressure. They weren't able to convert that same pressure and return the same thing to Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Burrow looked comfortable back there. Maybe his calves not giving him those issues anymore because, like I said, he just looked comfortable. He looked like he had that power behind his throws to where he could drop it in the pocket like he wanted to. Him and Jamar Chase are back on track to like what they normally do. It seems these last couple of years it's been taking them a while to kind of get up to speed on things. And that's the only issue I've been having with them. But once they start clicking, they're on all cylinders. And Jamar Chase came out, had a great game. 15 catches, 192 yards, and 3 touchdowns. One of the best games of his career to date. Dobbs threw his first interception of the season, which came on a pick 6 in the first half. Very heartbreaking. He also had a fumble and another interception. So he went from no turnovers to having 3 in one game. That really hurts. But what I'm looking forward to moving forward is what the rookie from TCU, the running back, Amari DiMercato, what he's going to do moving forward because James Conner got a knee injury, and they're saying it looked like he may miss a few weeks. He played a pretty good game, stepping in for him, had a touchdown, 45 yards on 10 carries. But what I like to see is when he was in college, he played pretty good. His senior year, he had 121 carries for 681 yards and 6 touchdowns, as well as catching over 40 passes. So he can kind of do both things for you out of there. He had 150 yards in the playoff game against Michigan. So if he can convert that into the NFL and get acclimated with the speed of the game pretty quickly, I feel like they may not fall off too much on their offensive stretch and still be able to give Josh Dobbs the ability to run the play action because teams will still be kind of fearing the run a little bit.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. James Conner has been balling this year, man. He was third, I think, in rushing yards before this injury, 3rd or 4th. So he was really, taking the load off for Joshua Dobbs, helping them be fearful of that, talented run game, them moving up and down the field with that run game. Arizona I think the turnovers just killed them, man. The turnovers is what did it. Prater missed an extra point on a really an important extra point because they would have been down by 3 instead of them being down by 4 going into the 4th quarter, where Cincinnati just kind of blew the game open by scoring 2 more times to make the lead insurmountable. But yeah, like you said, man, Joe Burrow looks like he's back, look like he's finally healthy, 36 for 46, very efficient throwing, which is what I like to see. They don't have to go over the top all the time, but when you are efficient in the short pass game, that opens it up for the long games down the field, and that's what Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase does. So I like to see that. Irwin stepping in big, Tyler Boyd getting more catches, trying to get underneath. They need extra receiver help. Chase looked like he dominated, and that's what he'll do. But you're going to have to do something later on in the season. We know T. Higgins out for an injury right now. He looked like he might be out for another week or two. So they're going to need to continue to step up. The other receivers need to step up, and they did. You know, they did a good job of converting first downs, being those short targets that Burrow needed. So Chase obviously balled out 15 catches, 192. Very impressive. Like you said, I think the Bengals defense, you know, can be top 10. You know what I'm saying? With how they fly around, how fast they are. They look dominant some games, and then some games they don't. So I think they have that potential, but they got to bring it on a consistent basis, because in games like this, they show that they can get turnovers, that they can, you know, get fast, get tackles in the backfield, things of that nature. So very impressive. I want to see more from Rondale Moore. He's like one of their secret weapon packages. He's running out of the backfield some plays. He scored a touchdown on a rushing play earlier this season. So I like to see him get the ball a little bit more. They're trying to find creative ways to get him the ball, but he's so fast, man, so electric. They got to find even more ways to do more to get him the ball, and Josh Dobbs has to protect it. Let's go into the next game, the Panthers and the Lions, 42-24. The Panthers fought hard in this game, but the Lions was just too much. What did you think of that game?
Like I said on the previous podcast, the Lions are taking the NFC North. And they're going to make some noise in the playoffs. I feel like this year they're going to be able to actually give some teams some scares, man. And that offense is looking amazing. The pickup of David Montgomery. Oh my God, this guy's a dog. His ability to make tacklers miss is unmatched. His legs never stop churning. He's always looking for extra yards, on top of the fact that he's shifty as well. So he's a power back and he's shifty. So that just opens up the game. Jamal Williams is nothing compared to this guy. So whether Gibbs is healthy or needs to sit for a couple more weeks or whatever, they can feel confident letting him run the ball. Also, the rookie tight end out of Iowa, Sam Laporta, has been stepping in as a great fill for them trading away TJ Hawkinson last year. This guy is playing out of his mind as a rookie. He's only going to get better as time goes on. With no Amon-Ra St. Brown, he came in, him and Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds has been playing well this year as well. Once Jameson Williams gets back up to speed and healthy, coming back in after his little game suspension, or 3-game suspension, 4-game suspension, I do see that offense coming along and getting even better. The Panthers are just horrible right now. Nothing they do can work. They went and got Miles Sanders thinking because he played great with y'all, the Eagles, they thought he was going to be able to do this here. No. Miles Sanders was covered up by that great Eagles O-line. The Eagles win run blocks, which I've talked about before, and Miles Sanders can't get it happen. He does not know how to dig his foot into the dirt, pick a hole, and hit it. The man does too much playing. Is he still hurt? Like, is he dealing with a nagging injury? What is his issue? He's only rushed for 50 yards once this year. Bryce Young, no. I will say this. I did see a couple drives where Bryce Young, like, kind of sparked some interest for me. Like that early touchdown he had. It was a 14-play drive, if I'm not mistaken. He was just making good decisions with his passes. Him and Adam Thielen have a good connection. So I do see that coming along being something. Adam Thielen coming back, trying to revive his career a little bit since he left Minnesota. Fantasy. But 2 interceptions, a fumble, and a punt in the first half is unacceptable. You're not going to win many football games like that, even with a great offense. So they shot themselves in the foot, and that's what it came down to.
Yeah, man. The Panthers, they didn't really have any hope of winning this game. Let's be honest. They were in Detroit. That team was fired up. The defensive lineman, Aiden Hutchinson, like I talked about in the previous podcast,
took a great leap.
Going crazy this year, man. He looked like Max Crosby. They kind of in the same vein, man. Did you see he got the pick that he got, the one-handed interception coming off of, they were trying to tight end screen on him. He threw the guy off of him. The tight end looked like he was going for the catch. And Bryce tried to squeeze it in there, and Aiden Hutchinson one-handed it, brought it back into his other hand, and still got some yards after the interception.
Oh, yeah, great
So
athlete.
Talented, man. Great read, and you got to have the mind for that. You know what I'm saying? You got to know that that's coming, and he knew that was coming, so that's film study, yes. So don't skip the film study, man. You can make some big plays just by knowing what the opposing team is doing. And that team is so well coached, man. I got to give a lot of credit to Dan Campbell, man. Dan Campbell is a great motivator coach, but he's also a good X and O's coach, clearly. You know what I'm saying? He's got Goff looking really good out there, making great decisions. Goff has been playing really well. Like, he's not quite a game manager, but he's not a superstar quarterback either. Mm-hmm. He's a little above average, you know what I'm saying? And I think he could take you some places, man. If you have an elite defense, like he made it to the Super Bowl with the Rams, I think he can do that and win it for you at this point. He's grown as a player. He's making better decisions. He's not turning over the ball. He's moving around in the pocket, avoiding sacks. I like what I'm seeing from this team, man. And you were right, man. The Lions look really talented. They're 4-1 right now. Laporta was a great pickup. I thought they were making a mistake getting rid of Hawkinson. I was like, man, y'all just drafted the guy. Y'all don't want to pay him. They traded him away. They got a tight end that looks just as good, if not better. So, so yeah, man, it was a great game by the Lions. But the Panthers, they got a lot of building to do, man. Their O-line, the O-line definitely has to get better because Bryce is not having enough time in there, and they need some more receiver help. Adam Thielen can't be the only one that can try to get open for them.
That's been their issue since that Super Bowl year, though. Ever since that Super Bowl year, their center, I can't remember his name quite off top, but once he retired, and then Ryan Khalil, and once that happened, they just kind of start declining slowly but surely, and they just have not been able to get anybody in there. They've got a young guy tackle, but I don't even know if he's healthy right now. Even if he is, he can't do it by himself. You can't block 4, 5, 6 guys by yourself. So they have to get some help on that O-line, or the Panthers are just going to be for the rest of the year.
And one last point before we move on. Like you said, the run game. They have to have a run game for Bryce Young because you can't have him back there throwing 40, 50 times. He had to throw 42 times this game. He needs to be around the 30 through 32, 33 range in passes. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? No more than that, really, for them to be successful. They need a consistent run game, and Miles Sanders isn't going to do it for you. He gets tackled so easily. Just an arm tackle will take him down. So they got to get better production from the run game. Let's move into the last game. Cowboys against the 49ers. Dak, I had some belief in you, man. I really did. I thought you were going to do it, and you did it. You really did it. You did a great job. 3 interceptions. What a game. Let's talk about that, man. How did you think about that game? How did you feel about it?
Dak Prescott cannot get it done when it matters the most. There was so much pressure on this game, and he did not come and step up to the plate when the pressure laid down on him. Why does this man always do this when the pressure's there? They're talking about, these were your last 2 playoff losses, came to the Niners. You have to win this, that, the third. No, it's not happening, man. It's just too much for him. Dak Prescott, since he's been drafted, has 12 game-winning drives and 19 fourth-quarter comebacks. But most of those came when Zeke was out there pounding the ball, running downhill every play. Since Zeke has fallen off, so is Zach. He has declined in 3 wins this season. Dak has 0 turnovers. In his losses, he has turnovers. 1 against the Cardinals and 3 this past game. Those 3 interceptions were horrible throws. Mm-hmm. An overthrow, a slant throw into a pocket. Yeah. That was a tip one.
Yeah, and then he had another slant that got picked off.
And it's like, what are you doing, man? He's just making terrible decisions. Aside from their inability to punch it in when they're in the red zone, what are the Cowboys good at this year? The defense can't get it done. Michael Parsons was out there getting thrown around like chopped liver.
You know who was blocking him?
Everybody.
Trent.
It wasn't even just Trent. They were sending Juszczyk at him. Christian McCaffrey got a couple little crackback blocks on him. Like, everybody, they were making sure to get Michael Parsons eliminated from that game, and they did a great job of it. Yep. It was a point in the game where I saw a stat. It was 27 pass dropbacks, and Michael Parsons had 1 QB hurry, no hits, no sacks. He had no pressure garnered the entire game. Without Trevon Diggs, you can't have that. The Cowboys are going to be in a whole lot more trouble moving forward if this continues to happen. And when teams watch film on this and they learn how to stop that, The Cowboys going to have to dial something up. Either Mike McCarthy or Dak Prescott is getting out of there this year. And my question is, are you going to move to Trey Lance at quarterback when that happens, or will you look to go elsewhere to find a quarterback? But Dak's got to get up out of there.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he's on how many more years he has on the contract, but I know this is definitely not his last season.
It's next season, that's his last year, but they're going to have to re-sign him.
Right.
And in order for them to re-sign him, he's going to want more money. Think about the money that the quarterbacks are making right now, $50-55 million almost.
You gonna pay
no
that,
one's
that
paying him that because he has not gotten better since they gave him that last contract.
Right. So they got some decisions to make, man. And he has to step up. You know what I'm saying? If they want to be a winning franchise, if they want to, get to the place that they always say they're going to go, he has to be better. You know what I mean? 3 interceptions, 3 sacks, 153 yards. That's not going to get it done. Only 24 attempts. And they didn't get anything from the run game. Tony Pollard, I'm a big fan of Tony Pollard, but Fred Warner, I got to mention Fred Warner. Fred Warner with that punch-out fumble on the sideline. Somehow that ball dangled on the edge of the sideline, and the 49ers were able to recover it.
I think it hit Lenore's foot when he was diving. Before he touched out of bounds, right before.
Yes, so it was just like a crazy play. It was like it was meant to happen. Yeah, man, they're struggling, man. I mean, Dak only really good throw was to Turpin. That one throw, that touchdown, that was a dot. I gotta give him that one. That was a dot. But other than that, man, they didn't really have much of anything. And I'm not seeing that same speed that I'm seeing from the secondary and the linebackers flying to the football like they were in that first game. You know how we were hyping them after that Giants game, and that defense was flying around going crazy. Vander Esch got a really bad injury. The neck, yes. So I'm kind of fearful of him about that. I'm praying for the best. I know he's out for like 4 to 6 weeks. But
because he has a history of
neck injuries, yes. So I'm just praying for him that he gets healed up fast. Bland, I think, also got injured.
Who has been playing great for them this year? Got 2 touchdowns against the Patriots last week.
Right. So I mean, they're struggling right now, man. That was a killer blow to them. And I'm gonna just go into the 49ers real quick. Purdy, excellent game. Nothing I can really say there. Made all the right decisions. Kittle lifted up the shirt, and I don't want to say what he said, but y'all can Google it if you want. But he had some kind words to say about Dallas, and had 3 tutties on him, 3 tubs. So Kittle was out there balling. I like what I'm seeing from the 49ers, man. I don't want to like what I see too much, because that's probably the team we're going to see as Eagles fans if we're trying to get to the Super Bowl. But they look amazing right now. Fred Warner and Greenlaw, probably the best package I think at linebacker right now. If we really keeping it a buck, Greenlaw was flying out there, making crazy plays, tackles for loss, got a sack on the game. He gets under-talked a lot on that defense because they got so much talent with Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Hargraves, and that D-line. But Greenlaw, it just picked up Gregory, but Greenlaw is really talented, man, and he's showing why he's he should be more deserving of like more recognition. So I'm giving him his flowers right now. But where do the Cowboys go from here? That's the last thing I'll say after this. Where do they go from here? They're 3-2.
They have to figure something out with Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy has to do a better job of play calling. Their CeeDee Lamb looks lazy. He doesn't look like he's giving 100% every play. And when you're the best receiver on the team, you're really one of the only offensive threats, because Brandon Cooks isn't getting it done. Michael Gallup's playing a little better here and there, but you need more from CD, and like you said, more from Pollard. So Mike McCarthy's going to have to go back into the archives, dial up something else, and figure out ways, combinations, and routes. And he's got to get Dak to just calm down, because Dak has too much going on in his head right now. And that's the worst thing to have as a quarterback. You can't be thinking too much as a quarterback, because overthinking gets you burnt up in this league. And if they don't do something with McCarthy, which was a horrible decision to make him the OC and the coach anyways.
They're missing Matt Moore.
Yeah, Kellen Moore.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's doing all right in LA. I mean, it's his first year there, so it's going to take a little while. But, I mean, Justin Herbert and those guys get it done. But Mike McCarthy's going to have to figure something out offensively. Because if the offense can't get it done, the defense is going to be tired, and they're never going to be able to really be great.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm wishing them much failure. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here, man. We want to thank everybody for tuning in today. We appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe on the video, man. Smash the like button. Stop playing. And make sure y'all support us, man. That's all we asking for. Just a little like, a little share, whatever. We want to, just keep it rolling, man. We're going to keep this thing rocking, bro. It's a good episode. Had a lot of fun. Hope y'all did too. And we up out of here.